Today, we're going to be fixing a common problem on at least the '07 to '12 GT500s, more so a ongoing issue with my particular GT500. Stay tuned and I'll show you guys what's up. Alright, so in today's episode of What the Fuck Else Broke on My Car, we are going to be replacing my intercooler pump. I was at the track on Friday. I've had problems with IATs with this thing throughout the summer. Once it started getting really hot, the car started becoming an issue. More so, the pump has just been stopping completely. Usually when I'm at cruise, I'll see it kind of creeping up to like 140. I'll slow down and then I'll watch it kick back on and they just start tanking like crazy. While I was at the track on Friday, my last pass before I got pissed off and left, my car lost like 8 miles an hour. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I happen to see out of the corner of my eye, my ATs, I think I caught them at 187 at that point. That's a problem. I went back and looked through my videos, and at the end of the pass, IATs were 207. So the car pulled all the timing, and what I found was the pump stopped again. By the time I got back to the pits, the ITs were 187, 181. Opened up the hood, found out there was no fluid moving. Got pissed, I slammed the hood, got back into the car, and started watching my ITs tank again. So I finally made the decision to replace the pump. I'm going to show you guys what I decided to do with the pump. I'm still not sure what my overall end game is going to be with this, but I'm going to show you guys what I decided to do for now and why I decided to do it. Alright, so on with what I decided to do. I went with a Davies Craig, it's a 9105, it's the EBP 25 pump. And if you look at this pump, if I get the box open with one hand, it's going to look just like the Bosch pump. And you're going to say, why would you upgrade or change to a Bosch style pump? Well, the thing with this pump is the Bosch style pump I think was rated at 3.3 gallon per minute. This is actually rated as 6.6. The Bosch pump is a brush motor pump. This is a brushless motor pump. That means that this thing's going to last a lot longer. The OEM Bosch pumps have been known for failing, pretty quick on these. The pump on this car is 30,000 miles old, so it's not like it's old by any means, but it is a problem. More importantly, why I went with this is a direct OEM replacement. What you can see is the plug is the same, the body is the same, the outlets are the same, except it gives you a little bit more flow, almost double, pretty much double the flow. And it's a brushless motor, so it's going to last forever. So you're going to ask me, hey Pete, why didn't you go with the 1314 pump like everybody else does? Why are you so stupid and you don't listen to people? Well, a couple reasons. Number one, this is a direct replacement. I don't have to pull my bumper. I have an '07 and '09 car. I can get to it by removing the radiator panel, which you're going to see is off right here, and the grill, which I'm going to show you guys how I took that off. I did that for doing some testing. So this is a direct replacement pump. It goes in the same way as Ford put it. Everything plugs in, no problem. The 1314 pump, which I believe is rated at 7 gallons per minute, which is only 0.4 gallon per minute more, does not mount in the same location. Needs an extra, obviously you got to figure out mounting. You need a different plug harness for it, so it gets wired in differently, and it was over double of what this pump was. So over double for 0.4 GPM potentially. I'm gonna go with the cheap around here because it makes sense. I don't think that going to a much bigger pump, and actually that's not even really all that much bigger, I don't think that that's going to be such a drastic change to justify spending that amount of money. You guys are going to beat me up over this, but again, just like with my transmission, you guys were telling me, oh, the transmission shot, you need synchros, and I said, no, it's not synchros. We're going to go on the same logic with the pump. When I go on my own logic, things seem to work a little bit better. So I'm going to do what I feel is best from what my research has been so far. All right, so just as a real basic how to get to the pump, again, the '07 to '12 GT500s are right down in this area here. The 0709s are kind of unique that you don't have to pull the bumper, which is, again, part of the reason I wanted to do this, because I don't want to yank the bumper off. So this is unique that you don't have to pull the bumper. Basically, to get off this top panel, the radiator panel, you're going to have a bunch of clips like this. I think there's like 8 clips or so. Take those off, and bada bing, that comes off. Now, technically, I can get to a good part of that pump there, but I don't want to fight with it. So I happen to look inside the 0709s. You're going to see I partially clipped them back in here so you can see it. But there's little clips where the grill will clip into. Basically, you pry those out a little bit all the way around, and you can pop the grill out. Bada bing. Now, what you get by doing that is full access to your stock pump. And you're going to see the stock pump here, got the plug, you have the, I believe this is the inlet, and then the outlet is hiding underneath there. Basically, what you want to do, there's a mounting bracket here. You're just going to spray some WD-40 or something in there, kind of pry this out of this rubber bracket, or this rubber mount of sorts, and then you're just essentially working backwards, popping the new pump back in after you get the lines off, and you know, get it in and get it working. So one thing you can do to check and see if your pump is having problems is you can put a jumper on your intercooler pump relay. So on the 0709 cars, this may be the same for the other cars, I'm not sure, but 0709s, you're going to have this relay panel here, and this front relay is for your intercooler pump. If you pull this out, you look at the bottom of it, you're going to have 3 prongs and 2 prongs. Essentially, the pins, if you jump these 2 pins into the actual female end of the plug, you will be bypassing that relay and starting up your pump. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to show you guys the flow from this thing now, and then we're going to show you guys what it's been doing and what the difference is with the new pump. So we're going to go ahead and plug that joint in there. Plug that joint in there. You hear my fans go on. And you can see it is churning a little bit of fluid. It's not churning a ton, but it is churning a little bit. Now, if I go and push on the back of the plug, boom, I can stop that pump from flowing. Let go, starts back up. Put some pressure on it, I can lock it up. And boom, pump is locked up. Let it go, it starts flowing again. So what that leads me to believe is that there's problems with the brushes locking up the pump. So again, we are going to remove the pump, replace it with the new pump, and we're going to hope that that double the GPM flow is going to make it a little bit more turbulent in there, move the fluid out a little bit quicker. I'm hoping it's going to be a little bit quicker because the pump is probably... the brushes are probably pretty weak, so I'm assuming that there's a low flow. I don't know what this should look like, but I'm thinking there's probably a low flow scenario because the brushes are pretty beat too. So let's go ahead and show you guys what we're going to do here. Basically, we're going to get some WD-40 on this, slide this guy out. We're going to unplug, just hit the ends here to pull out the plug, get that guy out of the way. Spray a little WD-40 on this mount here, and you're going to have to use some force to get the pump out, but you're going to slide it out this way. Once you have it slid out, I have pliers, hose pliers that I use to kind of crimp off the flow so we don't lose too much coolant. We'll be able to get this top one off without an issue. We'll have to have the pump out to get to the bottom one and then kind of work in a reverse order. So I'm going to go ahead and spray this up, get this guy out, and then we'll crimp off the ends. Alright, so I went ahead and got one hose clamp on this guy. So that way we should not lose any flow once we get that clamp off. And I went ahead and shot some WD-40 lithium grease in there to get that loosened up and slide this guy out. Alright, so I went ahead and slid that pump out. Required a little bit of pressure. Got this one clamped off. Got the bottom one clamped off. I went ahead and popped this one off and clamped it off, and a lot more fluid came out than I thought it was gonna. So I probably should have got it out and clamped them both off first before I took that out. So just realize you're going to lose a little bit of fluid if you do it that way. Clamp them both off and pull that sucker off the bottom. Alright, so we got the bottom line unplugged and on the pump. We got the top line on the pump. We're going to slide this thing in and get everything all tightened up. It didn't exactly work as planned with the fluid. A lot more fluid drained out than I thought it was gonna. So do be prepared for that, to be able to refill your fluid up. Alright, so as you see, pumps back in. I'm going to get the plug back on, clean up some of the stuff from the back of the pump that I used to lubricate it up, clean off some of the coolant. We're going to try and get coolant to cycle through the lines a little bit after I clean this up, so I'm going to squeeze these lines a little bit, get coolant flowing. And you can hear when I, it's not going to do it now, but when I squeeze in the lines, you can hear bubble and gurgle in there. So we're going to do that to get the pump primed and see how it works out. Alright, so actually I did not have to do too much priming of the pump. I just squeezed the lines a few times because I didn't let too much fluid out and had those crimped off. I just started shooting fluid right up through there. So we're going to go ahead and jumper this again. And you'll see the pump flowing. And that is definitely flowing more fluid than what it was before. So that other pump was definitely weak. I'm going to go ahead and throw some more fluid in here, and we'll see what it looks like with a little bit more. Churning nice. So you guys can see the flow difference between the OEM one that came out and that the Davies Craig. We're going to go ahead and pop the grill back in and show you how everything goes back together. Alright, you're going to put your relay back in. 3 prongs go at the back. Pop that joint back in. Pop the relay cap back on, and we'll get the grill piece back. Okay, when you're popping this in, just make sure the tabs line up. You're going to see some top tabs, and you just pressure fit those guys in there. Anything will snap in nicely into place, and your grill is back into place. Then we get the radiator panel. See, that just drops into place. I believe that pressure fits underneath the grill piece, and then you start popping your clips back in like so. Pull up on the clip, pop down. These are a little spread out, and pop it down. And you can do that for all 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's my light telling me we're getting ready to stop. So you pop those 6 in, you're all done. Cap up, go for a drive, make sure IATs look good. Alright, so this old pump wasn't necessarily the easiest to get off. You're going to see there's some tabs across the top, tabs across the bottom. You got to pull out to get this motor assembly off. I'm going to pry off this end. I think this is magnetized. And you're going to see a seal in there. And you see the brush ends. Brush ends look like they are worn a little bit. More importantly, you're going to see lots of brush dust in there. So, if you guys ever wondered, does this look familiar? This looks just like the pump for my convertible top. When my convertible top was giving me problems. This is what happens when you have brushed motors. Let me see if I can pry this motor assembly out of here. Alright, so here's the inside of the housing where the motor assembly was. You're going to see how much shit came out of there. Everything feels smooth in there. Looks pretty even. The actual magnets don't look too bad. But again, there is a lot of dust in there. And that was probably locking up the motor. I guess it's a bearing that spins on. Bearing looks pretty decent, but there's probably some shit. That's probably why when pushing on the back of it, it was locking up. Because the bearing was probably seizing up from all the dust. You can see these parts here in the contacts. They're a little bit chewed up, but I mean, honestly, they're not horrible. So I would say this probably would have been alright with just a cleaning. Getting all that dust out probably would have fixed it, but again, for the price that pump cost me, it was 136 bucks. Get some more flow, get a brand new pump in there that is brushless, and it should last me a lot longer. So I just got back from a nice ride with the car. Initially, IATs were looking great. It's like a mid-80s day right now. IAT 1 was 82, IET2 was 82. I was like, holy shit, this was great. Drive around for like 10 minutes. And again, everything was looking great. Then the underhood temperatures went up. Once the underhood temperatures go up, the IET kind of goes to shit then. I'm not going to say it was any worse. It was definitely no worse than what it ever was. It was at least the same, if not a tad better, which is great. You know, we know we got a working pump. Next thing we got to figure out is how to bring down the underhood temperatures. If you guys have long tubes, you know shit gets hot with long tubes. If I'm cruising around and I'm seeing IET 1 on the highway of 100 to 108 or so, underhood temperatures are getting pretty hot. So I don't think the issue is so much coolant flow at this point. I think what we need to figure out how to do is to get more air underneath the hood to cool that down. So one thing I'm thinking about doing is ceramic coating the headers. That should cut down quite a bit on the underhood temperatures. I may do some JLT ducting in from the front bumper. They're originally for brake ducts. I may use them for IET ducts. That's only going to do so much though. I really think I got to focus on getting some more air on top of that blower somehow, whether it means getting new vents for the hood, which they no longer make anymore, or getting those headers ceramic coated. I really think getting those headers ceramic coated are going to help quite a bit. So I think that's probably what I'm going to focus on over the winter, is figuring out what to do. If you guys do have any suggestions, shoot them to me, but please make them educated suggestions. Don't come up with shit out from left field for something that you don't know what you're talking about. Come to me with data. You will get a great response if you have data. If you just say, oh, get a 13-14 pump, that's going to fix your problems. No, it's not, because plenty of 13-14 guys have problems. So don't come at me with dumb shit, but if you have legit suggestions that you know could aid or help the situation, please let me know. Going to a bigger tank, more volume, yeah, could that help? That's not exactly going to help what this issue is. Bigger tank and more volume isn't going to help, with just straight water cruising the highways having high IET 1s. If IET 1 is hot, IET 2 is going to be hot. That's just the way this shit goes, guys. But the spread is good. The delta is good. I'm making progress. I got to figure out how to get that IET 1 down and get away from that lingering heat of the headers and lingering heat of the blower. Try and get this stuff down a little bit more. So again, guys, give me suggestions. If you have feedback on the pump install, please let me know. If you have questions, let me know. But please like and smash the subscribe button, guys. We appreciate it. All your views and feedback on the videos are what's keeping the channel going. So please, guys, appreciate that. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you.